Coach, you talked in the past about how pressure is something that still affects teams and women's soccer. Is what we saw at Stanford kind of a sign that that's changing it gradually? Teams are getting able to handle pressure better?
I think they are, but I think the teams that, I'm sorry, I've got this one. I think the teams that we play against, players are getting better and better, and I think the coaches are too. But there's something interesting about pressure in our game. Mike Tyson has a great statement. He says, everyone has a plan until the first punch. So if you're looking at our system and you're looking at it on paper, it's very easy to beat. Knock it over the top, run onto it, etc. Hold it in the back because we've only got 3 forwards pressurizing, 4 backs. There are all these different ways to solve it on paper, but there's a completely different issue when you're out there trying to play against it, and we're forcing you to play at a speed you're not comfortable with. So all of a sudden, a player that is incredibly skillful at one speed, you take the notch of the game up a degree or two, and all of a sudden, their game breaks down. So what we try to do is we try to make the other team play faster than they're capable of playing. And then what we try to do, and the girls know this, we try to play absolutely as fast as possible. We try to play like the Arsenal. It's Wenger is my role model in soccer coaching. His teams play the game faster than any team in the world. And we try to play the game as absolutely as fast as we can offensively. And we try to force our opponents to play faster than they can offensively. And so that's our fundamental game plan going into every single game. Now obviously what makes it work are the players sitting around me. You can't do this with ordinary players. You can't do this with players that are uncoachable. You can't do this with divas. I mean, can you imagine some multi-million-dollar forward being asked to sprint all over the place like Casey Nogueira? I mean, the way she works for us as a reigning National Player of the Year is extraordinary. She's got the technical and offensive quality to actually sit there and not do much, but she jumps in and works as hard as everyone else in the field, digging out balls and putting pressure. So that's our fundamental idea. I'm sorry, yes sir, in the back?
You looked pretty fast when you were trying to avoid your team.
Well, I'm not as fast as I was. In fact, I'm functioning on one ACL right now. I ripped it actually in the Duke alumni game. I was collateral damage. One of my own defenders was taking out a Dookie, and I was standing behind him. And so, yeah, I can hardly move. But I was actually impressed with Amanda Tucker. She's obviously been in the weight room because I could not get away from her. In fact, I tried to throw her over my leg, and I almost fell over. So I was really, I'm impressed with what our strength coaches are doing because I could not escape.
Whitney, you're obviously tremendously happy here to wrap your career this way. And Coach mentioned how so many of you started freshman year. Obviously, have a lot of wins. But what would you hope your legacy is to the program? There's been a lot of great senior classes that have come through. But what would you hope that your class has meant to this program going forward?
Well, first off, I just want to say that I think that ending our career here as a senior class is quite a testament to how far we've come. Because I don't know if any of you know this, but our senior class played our first game. We played our first game here at Texas A&M in front of, I think, 8,000 plus people. And we ended up losing that game in overtime. And it was the first time Carolina had ever lost their first game of the season. And all of us we all looked at each other because we knew that we'd come to Carolina to win. And here we had lost our first game of the season. And I think to come full circle and to win our last game here really it meant a lot to a lot of us. And I think that the legacy that we want to leave on this program is that, we pride ourselves in being a family. We pride ourselves in caring so much about one another. We go out on that field and we work hard for the person next to you, I think that you look at our team and you see the accolades that people have won on this team, and the fact that everybody comes to practice every day and works as hard as they can to know that they are pushing the girl next to them is really just a testament to how deep and how caring this family is. Because the truth is, we have Olympians on our, Olympic gold medalists on our team. We have national players of the year. We have girls that they really, anywhere else, they wouldn't really be expected to show up and do what they do for us. But every single day in practice, they are held to a standard where they must push every other person at practice and make that person better. And I think that's a true testament to this program. And I think that the senior class really, we embraced that, and we made sure that everybody was upheld to the highest standard. And I think that going out, it felt great to go out this way.
Coach, do you feel there was any sort of turning point in the season? I know you lost some games there, but I believe Heath was gone at that time.
Yeah, actually, I got a lot of nice text messages from my leadership. We came back from a 2-game swing in Florida where Tobin was off playing for the U.S. against Germany. And we lost to FSU in the last couple seconds of the second overtime period, 3-2, and then went to Miami and lost 1-0 to them. And usually what we do at the end of a road trip, win or lose, is I chat with the girls briefly in the bus as they're exiting. And you have to understand the girls in this program play with an enormous kind of pressure. I mean, it came out in Whit's statement just a second ago. These girls come in, they know the standard of the program, and all of a sudden their first game they've lost. And of course we've never lost our first game. They all feel this pressure. It's not like we're talking about it, but they all know the legacy. And so what we basically talked about on the bus is, you know what? Don't play with that burden. Don't play with the burden of this, enormous amount of pressure. And all of a sudden what happened in practice that week is I could sense the girls starting to come back a bit. And in my opinion, and obviously you can chat with the other girls sitting here, I think that was our turning point. Basically, I think sometimes, even after a loss, you have to forgive the kids, take responsibility, which I certainly did, and let them know we're okay. And that was the whole discussion. And I think from that practice week forward, we were galvanized, and then we took off.
Any of you guys follow up on that? That is a turning point?
Well, I talked to Anselm a little bit right after that weekend, because it was obviously a very disappointing weekend, and we kind of talked about the same thing, just to kind of take the pressure off of everyone. We talked about this isn't about like the program and our record and about everything that this program has done and all the winning that it's had and all the success that it's had. It's about the girl sitting next to you. It was about this team, what this team could do with the players we had, and kind of looking around, especially for the senior class. Like, we've been together for 4 years. We weren't going to go out like that. We wanted to do something about it. And I think just taking the pressure off of the big picture and just breaking it down into, I want to play with my best friends, with my teammates, and just kind of putting that as our priority and the reason for why we were playing really helped put everything back into perspective and get us back on track.